My name's Ryan, and I'm a field biologist. That sounds fancy, but really it just means I spend my days chasing creatures that are usually smaller than my thumb and way faster than I'd like them to be. I've spent years working in labs, collecting samples, classifying species, and writing reports that maybe 10 people in the world will ever read. But the truth is, I live for the fieldwork, for those rare trips that break the routine. When someone says the word discovery, my brain lights up like a Christmas tree. One night, about a year ago, I got a call from a colleague named Alan. Now, Alan's a great guy, but he's also what I'd call a professional exaggerator. He goes, "Ryan, you won't believe this. Someone in Brazil spotted a massive white butterfly near the jungle. Locals say it's as big as a bird. A white butterfly in a tropical forest." That made zero sense. Butterflies there are usually neon-colored, patterned, vibrant, anything but white. So if this was real, it could mean a newly evolved species. That's like catnip for biologists. I asked Alan, who saw it? He said a local farmer's nephew. Or cousin, something like that. I should have seen the red flag right there, but I didn't. 3 days later, I was landing in Brasilia, Brazil. The humidity hit me like a hot towel. My glasses fogged up instantly, and by the time I got my luggage, I was already questioning my life choices. But that's the thing about curiosity. Once it's got you, there's no turning back. So I rented a Jeep that looked like it had survived 3 wars, bought a stack of bottled water, and hit the road toward the edge of the rainforest. Everywhere I stopped, I asked about the white butterfly. People nodded. Some smiled mysteriously. Others told stories that sounded more like fairy tales. One old man at a roadside fruit stand said, "Ah, the spirit moth. If you see it, it means the forest approves of you." He winked at me and handed me a mango for luck. For the next 2 days, I trekked through every trail I could find. The air was thick and sticky, the kind that clings to your clothes and makes you feel like you're walking underwater. Mosquitoes treated me like an all-you-can-eat buffet. At one point, I thought I saw it. A white flash in the distance. My heart jumped. I sprinted after it, crashing through bushes and vines, nearly face-planting into a puddle the size of a small pond. Turned out it was a piece of tissue paper stuck to a branch. I stared at it for a good minute before laughing like a maniac. By that evening, I was soaked, filthy, and questioning every decision that had led me there. Day 3 started with rain. Not gentle rain, the kind that sounds like the sky is emptying an ocean on your head. My shoes squished, my notebook was damp, and my patience was gone. By late afternoon, I decided to call it. No butterfly, no new species, just one tired scientist with trench foot. So that night, I headed to a small bar near my hotel. It was dimly lit, smelled like lime and old wood, and had a single ceiling fan doing its best to fight the heat. I sat at the counter, ordered a beer, and let the sound of laughter and clinking glasses drown out the buzzing in my head. That's when I heard them. 2 men sitting a couple tables away, one in a red cap, the other in a faded soccer jersey. They were loud, clearly enjoying themselves. I wasn't paying much attention until I heard the word Americano. That got my attention. "You think he's still looking?" one of them asked. "Of course," the other laughed. "That stupid American scientist. He's been running around for 3 days looking for the magic butterfly." They both burst into laughter. "We tell tourists that story every month," one added. "They spend money, hire guides, stay in hotels, all to find a bug that doesn't exist. They called it the butterfly trick. A local legend made up just to lure in gullible researchers and nature lovers. I just sat there listening. Every word made me feel smaller, dumber, like I'd fallen for the oldest trick in the book. But then, something inside me shifted. Instead of feeling angry, I started laughing too. Quietly at first, then genuinely. Because, honestly, they weren't wrong. I had fallen for it. And maybe I deserved it. I waved over the bartender, a friendly guy with a big mustache and a bigger grin. "Hey," I said, "bring me a bottle of your best whiskey." He raised an eyebrow, but came back with one covered in dust. I poured myself a generous glass, lifted it toward the 2 men, and muttered under my breath, "Here's to the white butterfly." May it keep flying forever. I took a sip. It burned like truth. After that night, I stayed in Brazil for another couple of days. Not for the butterfly, but just to explore. Once I stopped chasing rumors, I started actually seeing things. Bright blue beetles that shimmered like metal, giant moths with wings like velvet, and people, locals, who shared stories that weren't for tourists, but for each other. On my last day, that old man from the fruit stand spotted me again. He grinned and said, "So, did you see it, the spirit moth?" I smiled back and said, "I think I did, just not the one I was looking for." He nodded like he knew exactly what I meant. When I got back to New York, my coworkers asked, "So, Ryan, did you find your new species?" I told them, "Oh yeah, I found the rarest one of all, common sense." We laughed, and I filed the trip under educational experience. Because that's the thing about being a biologist. You don't always come home with discoveries. Sometimes you just come home with a story that makes everyone else feel a little better about their own bad decisions. And honestly, I'll take that. This was Insane Job Jams, where work gets wild.